Anybody who says, oh yeah, I got the work balance thing down, or the work-family balance thing down, I put my phone away when I go home. Fuck that shit's hard. Like, me and my wife argue, you know, my kids have called me out, and they're only 6. Daddy, you're always on your fucking phone, and they'll say fucking. Like, you know, so I'm not perfect, certainly not perfect, but I share it. You know, I'm not trying to be perfect either. You know, I think you guys would figure it out real quick if I stood up here trying to act like I'm perfect. I'm being rough around the edges. That leads me to, once people get to know you, the goal is to get them to like you. The best way to get, I'll get to Tom Brady in a second. The best way to get people to like you, I feel, is to humanize your business. And a couple of the speakers have mentioned already, Rachel mentioned, being vulnerable, you know, showing that void sometimes, you know. Don't try to be perfect. None of us are perfect, yet you freaking scroll down your Instagram and everybody's showing the perfect shit. Everybody's showing the picture of their abs with the perfect lighting. They're showing the vacation, the new car that they bought. They just opened up a new gym. Their life is great. They got a hot chick. Everything's perfect. But yet the average business fails in the first year. How come on Instagram everybody's got the greatest fucking business in the world? They're all trying to be perfect. Perfection isn't a likable characteristic. That's why most people perceive Tom Brady to be perfect. And that's why they say, fuck Tom Brady. Fuck him, he's rich, he's got a hot wife, he's got a Super Bowl ring on every finger, he's tall, he's good looking, he's this. Fuck him, because they perceive him to be perfect. And that's not a likable trait. Not saying it's his fault, but there's a reason. I live 2 minutes from Giant Stadium. If we polled every Jet fan at a Jets game, and you said, who do you like more, Tom Brady and you name any other quarterback in the NFL, why do they all fucking hate Tom Brady? Because they perceive him to be perfect, that he can't lose, you know? And if you try to mimic that in your business, you're probably gonna fail, because it's just not that likable of a trait. People want to be able to relate to you. People want to be able to, you want to humanize your business, because that's what people are going to relate to. People aren't going to relate to 5 Super Bowl rings, 6'6", multi-millionaire, model for a wife. Most people can't relate to that. That's a very small niche market if that's what you're going to try to go after. Being open and honest and sharing some shit that you've been through, much more people are going to be able to relate with that. Speaking of which, again, just giving you guys some examples of my business growing without me trying, by the way. This certainly wasn't a master business plan on my part, but a couple things I've done over the years that I look back and I go, holy shit, that helped take my business to the next level. And when I look back at them, it's all times where it was shit that I didn't want to do, people advised me against doing, but I ended up doing it, and it ended up paying off, so to speak. One of the things, some of you may have seen, this is a screenshot of a YouTube video I made when I first put out my DeFranco Insider membership website. For the most part, 98% of the feedback, 99% of the feedback, people loved it. Those who signed up loved it. You over-delivered, awesome. And then you always have 1 or 2 jerk-offs, and those are the ones that stand out in your head. And I had one email from a guy that said, DeFranco, typical trainer, trying to make a quick buck. He used to do shit for free. I remember reading his Q&A back in the day. Now he's charging for his advice. What an asshole. Meanwhile, I'm still giving away all the free shit I've always given away. I just added a, kind of an exclusive premium type of service, but that's a whole nother issue. Anyway, I usually don't respond to that type of negativity. I try to keep it, while being as transparent as possible, try to keep it positive and add value instead of getting into internet arguments. But I said, you know what? I want to make a video about this. I made like a 5-minute YouTube video where I read, that's why I called it Joe D. Reed's hate mail. I read that email that he sent me, and one of my responses was kind of what I just said. Listen, the reason why it's not like I don't provide any more free content. You still have a shit ton of free content you're getting from me. This is just a premium service for higher level coaches, trainers. It was in demand. People have been asking me to do it. I partnered with Jim Smith, Smitty. We did it. People loved it. You still have your free content if you're going to be too cheap to pay the $20 a month. But I kind of opened up, and I was advised not to. People said, don't mention that. In that video, I had mentioned doing too much free stuff during my career, and at one point, literally being 1 month away from going out of business, like less than a few weeks where if one more bill came, I was fucked. I had no more money in the bank. I couldn't borrow from anybody. I was going out of business. And this is at the time when I would consider DeFranco's gym at its peak, where you guys would know me and DeFranco's as one of the top gyms in the world. If you came to my gym at any given time, place is packed, energy through the roof, athletes training, as good as an environment as you will ever see. Yet, 90% of the people in the gym were either late on payment, not paying, I was doing favors, I felt bad. This kid I let come for free, then I let him bring his friend for free. This one's parents got divorced, I didn't want to kick him out of the gym, so I let him keep coming. And I was a little too nice, and I know it sounds a little contradictory from doing shit, but again, the answer usually lies somewhere in the middle. You should be doing shit, but you can't do everything for free, obviously. Now, this was later in my business too. This is now, I'm not in the storage closet anymore. I'm in a real facility. I have employees. I have more overhead. It's more of a real business now, but I'm not running it like a real business. I'm letting people train for free. And the perception is Joe DeFranco is a multimillionaire. Meanwhile, I'm 2 weeks away from literally, having to shut down DeFranco's gym and going broke. And I shared that story, and was very honest and open and said, that's why, I do this for a living. At this point, I've been doing it for 12 years, and my services are worth $20 a month. They're actually worth 20 times that. But yes, I do a job just like whatever the guy's name was. I said, I'm sure whatever job you go to each day, at the end of that week or every 2 weeks, you probably get a paycheck for doing your job. That's what I'm doing here. But regardless of, I don't remember what I said the rest of the email or the rest of the video, but sharing almost going out of business, I can't tell you how many emails I got from trainers and coaches and gym owners within 24 hours saying, holy shit, you have no idea how much you sharing that story helped me. I'm going through the same thing. I'm packed all day. I'm training all day. I'm exhausted, but I'm not bringing in any revenue. I'm doing a lot of favors. I'm training friends. I'm training family members. I'm training kids that can't afford it. What did you do? How did you come out of it? And that kind of developed somewhat of a bond with me and some of the people who were following me. And I started doing a lot of consulting because of sharing that story, being open and honest that yes, even I had financial problems as a so-called well-known guy in the industry. Another big thing, recently, about 1.5 years ago on my podcast, I let my nutritionist read my blood work on basically live. We do it live to tape. In other words, we record the podcast and then it goes on air or whatever you want to call it a couple days later, but I don't edit anything. Whatever's recorded, we keep it basically live to tape. Dr. Tom, if any of you listen to my podcast, you know Dr. Tom. He's a lunatic, but he does know his shit. I had blood work done because I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling unhealthy, as now having kids, being in my 40s, I was like, man, I gotta get my shit together. Like, I'm burning the candle at both ends. I want to get full blood panels done. Like, I want to see what's going on. He comes to my house, and if you know him, he's a ball buster, typical New Jersey jerk off, like he'll bust balls. I've known him for 16 years, so we have that rapport. But that day, I remember him showing up at my door, and he was kind of like more serious than the usual Dr. Tom, and he was like, "You want to go over your blood work first, and then we'll record. We'll figure out what you want to record." And I was like, "Why? What are you talking about?" He's like, some things aren't that good. I don't know if you're going to want to reveal everything. And I was like, fuck, like I'm not dying, am I? He's like, no, but it's also not good. So I was like, shit, fuck it. I go, don't even tell me. Let's just do it, because whatever it is, I'm sure there's going to be one person listening that can maybe relate, and maybe this could help some people, far beyond any strength training advice I could ever give. Long story short, that's where he revealed all my blood work, the brain chemistry stuff. The lab report, on the actual lab report, it said I had the brain chemistry. It looked like some military veterans they've seen that, come back from war and have PTSD and have, that have suffered from traumatic brain injuries. And it scared the hell out of me, but I knew something was up. And that's when he asked me, you ever get depressed or for no reason, or panic attacks? And I kind of shared, I was having these nighttime panic attacks that were scary as hell. They came out of nowhere. And again, as a guy that truly does love what I do, I have a great family, great relationships. I was going through this, tough time, and it went on for 2 years. I was embarrassed to say anything. I said it on that podcast, and I can't even tell you the amount of lives we changed, because we went through that whole process. How he helped me, the nutrition, the supplementation, the lifestyle changes, and now we get emails from all over the world from people that go, holy shit, dude, I listened to that podcast and it literally changed my life. We have wives of guys calling, crying, saying how much that helped them. And that was one of those things I was on the fence, like, that's kind of embarrassing. I'm supposed to be fucking strong, meathead, guy that people look up to, confident. I don't know if I want to share that. That has been more impactful maybe than anything I've done in my career. And just from, business standpoint, next to Triple H being on my podcast twice, which the download numbers were ridiculous, that show has had more downloads than any show I've done in 135 shows. So it shows you, and it was not even training related. But going back to vulnerability, not me trying to be a business guru, just being fucking honest and being like, yeah, I'm going through some shit. And a lot of business owners were able to relate to that. And then I just have a picture, the work-family balance. I've been pretty honest with people. Ask me, oh, how do you balance it? You have kids now, you have a wife, you seem, and I am happy, but it's certainly not easy. Like anybody who says, oh yeah, I got the work balance thing down, or the work-family balance thing down, I put my phone away when I go home. Fuck that shit's hard. Like me and my wife argue, my kids have called me out, and they're only 6. Like, Daddy, you're always on your fucking phone, and they'll say fucking. So I'm not perfect, certainly not perfect, but I share it. I'm not trying to be perfect either. I think you guys would figure it out real quick if I stood up here trying to act like I'm perfect. I'm being rough around the edges is my middle name. So all that stuff has helped, and all I could do is share with you guys what has helped me, and from doing more consulting, what has helped the majority of clients, coaches, and trainers that I have been working with. So real important, getting people to like you without being fake, is just be real, show some vulnerability. Now, there's a